Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Energy Care Solutions. So in this particular video, we are just going to be doing a deep dive into a service that you may or may not know, which is Lumos. Don't quote me on this, but I think they've stopped their partnerships with MTN, but I don't know what that would look like. But just to give a brief context, MTN Lumos is a service that provides solar electricity to, businesses, homes, and individuals alike. So this solution proves to be an affordable means into getting into solar electricity. Okay. Now I'm not exactly sure behind the history, but at least from my time using their services, I could tell you that at least they had a partnership with MTN. But currently, right now, I just want to give you a little breakdown on my experience using that system. When I was like in university, I needed to ensure that I had some forms of power going on because I was doing some learning and stuff behind the scenes to, advance my career. So I needed definitely electricity, and you all know how things are in Nigeria with solar electricity or with electricity in general. So you have to find and create your own energy, which is nothing new to the average Nigerian. But one of the solutions that at least I was recommended by my friend was MTN Lumos at the time. So this was back in 2018. Okay, so I got into the program, got some referrals and stuff. And at the time, you have to pay what is like an initial setup fee, okay, which is you are paying to get into the ecosystem, and that gives you access to the box, the solar panel, and some lights, and also some few months, I think, up to like 3 months of the service. I used it for a bit, but I quickly ran into a few problems that made me switch to a much more longer lasting solution, which I will share with you in the disadvantages and advantages of using this system. Just know it's a great system overall if you have where there's sunlight or if you have a means to charge it. At the time, the box we had just was purely solar, so even if you had electricity, you couldn't charge it unless you used their own system, or you had to buy their own service or their own adapter to charge the CD box. I think that has changed now, but at the time that was one of the pain points that I had with the system. I used that for like 2 years, then quit using it because of one, maybe the inconsistency in payments, being that I was a student, but also the fact that even if I was paying for it, because you and I both know how solar works, right? You enjoy during the sunny periods, and during the rainy periods can be a hassle because you're not getting enough sunlight, it's not charging properly, and the like. So you then have to ensure that you now have to find other means of using or getting electricity while you have some form of power in your house, which was defeating the purpose for me. So after dealing with it for some time, I stopped using the service, and they eventually took back their solar system. That's just my own experience with it. But let's go ahead and look at the disadvantages of using the system. The first one is you don't own it, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. It all depends on who you are, right? But for me, not owning it meant that I could possibly still get rid of it. So I must say it's an advantage, but just know it is one of the things that you get the system, you pay for it because you pay for it monthly, and even with that monthly payment, you don't own it until like maybe 5 years. Based on, okay, if you're paying monthly, you know how it costs. If you're paying, 3 months, 6 months, a year, that helps shorten the payments. The more you pay, the shorter the time. So just take that into consideration. Another core disadvantage is that monthly payment. So if you're not somebody that can really afford the monthly payments of the system, it can then prove to be a bit of a headache in the future because you have to pay the system to use it. If you don't pay for it, there is no electricity for you. So that's a bit of a downside. Then the next thing was the installation position. If you live in a place where they don't really care too much about where you store your stuff, it's fine. But some landlords, or if you don't own the house, if you own the house, you can put it wherever you want. But some landlords will give you conditions on, don't put this thing on my roof, so on and so forth. So that now becomes a challenge. Also, if you stay in a place where there is like upstairs, For instance, if you stay downstairs, I don't know how you want to go about putting the solar on the roof, because that can be a different challenge. So that's something to consider, or I feel as a disadvantage for using that system. Then let's move on to the advantages. It is a smaller sized box, okay, so that means you can literally put it anywhere. You can put it in your room, and it just works fine. One other disadvantage I think is also the ability to not connect it to your house, because you just have to set it up in a position and leave it there. So you can't be connected to your house to ensure you connect it to your sockets, so on and so forth. So that's, I think, is also another disadvantage, unless that has changed. Moving on with the advantages, it is also, apart from it being small size, it's also affordable, in the sense that, okay, you just pay a small amount to get in on the system, okay, and then you can make monthly payments to just cover up the cost while enjoying the power and the like. That's just as far as the advantages go. Then the last one is, like I said, which is like a disadvantage as well, but it's an advantage too. The fact that you can get rid of it anytime. So you're not bound to it long term or forever. If you find something better, if you don't like it, if you can't afford it anymore, you can always get rid of it. You tell them, they come, they disconnect their systems, and they take it away. It's a win-win for everybody. So that's just some of the advantages for using the Lumos system. The next thing is, how do you get set up? So getting set up is quite simple, okay? You can go to their website. I'll leave it linked in the description. I think if you could go to the MTN office near you, you will still be able to, walk up to customer support and talk to them about their service. Once you are there and you have the money to, they tell you what you require, because typically if somebody refers you, best, maybe I'll drop a link to my own referral. I'll drop a number so that you guys can use my number to sign up for Lumos. But with that being said, in order for you to get set up, one, you have to ensure you make the payment to get the system, get yourself set up, right? Which is, you get the box, you get the inverter, you get some bulbs, and that's what that comes in the system, okay? Then some forms of ways to connect your power adapter or something. That's step one. Step two, obviously getting it to your house and getting it set up. Now, the setup installation is not free. You would have to pay for their licensed technician, okay? So they will give you a contact that would come and install and uninstall their setups for you. That's the next step. Once you have it set up, next thing is just you enjoying it and making your payment. The payments, they have multiple payments, yearly, monthly, 6 months, 3 months, 2 years, right? Or you can decide to just buy the box outright if you're that rich. Typically, this system has its own flaws. Like I've mentioned, by my own experience, I eventually moved away from that system because I did the monthly calculation. Even if you keep on paying the monthly system, the monthly payment for the system, even in 2-3 years, it's more as though you're starting from the beginning. Based on inflation, the prices of everything will increase, so on and so forth. So it's not worth it for me anymore. So I got rid of mine. With that being said, I still find it a useful solution if if you can't afford it. Maybe you have less than 100,000 for to get yourself set up. With 100,000 or less, definitely you can pick up this MTN Lumos box. Go ahead and get it. But if you do have a bit more, to spend, then you might want to look into something else. Either in the video or what YouTube recommends, or also would link to our videos, other videos on how to get set up. We'll be doing those videos in the future on how to, how different inverter setups work for different households and the likes. So if you do want us to talk, and you want us to know how you can get set up, do this thing for yourself, sure, do reach out to us in the comments, or reach out to us on WhatsApp, the number that will be displayed on the screen, or you can check our link in the description, and we'll be glad to talk to you nonetheless. So we can help you either set up this Lumos system, or you can check out the other products or services that we do have to offer. With that being said, guys, I think that covers up everything for this Lumos system. The final thing I want to mention is that they do have 3 services. So you want your, speaking with them, they can tell you all more about it. But if you want that video, we can definitely do a separate video for that. So just let us know in the comments. And with that being said, guys, do like, do subscribe, do share. We are trying to ensure that everybody has decent power in their homes and an affordable price, because things are expensive. Price of fuel is going up. At the time of recording, this is the 5th of September. Fuel is already like 1.3. So people need to do things about how to get power in their homes, their offices, and wherever. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and thanks again. See you in the next one.